Hello everyone, Harsh Verma this side, and today I am here with a ladder of wisdom, which signifies that actual wisdom comes from the experience. But the experience comes from the revising, practicing, trying hard, multiple stuff, and the curiosity about learning new things. So the my learning journey, my networking learning journey actually starts from 2 years ago when I was preparing for CCNA, which I actually aced, and you can see the certification on my YouTube page. But that's none of that matter. And the subtext of the same slide also says that if you are not at former, let's continue at latter, which means that maybe you are not experienced, or maybe you're not experienced stuff, right? Not into IT, but preparing to get into. What we can do is we can learn. And if you're already learned, just like me, I'm here to revise. So, in order to revise the stuff, actually, I am going through this book called Network Warrior. Everything you need to know that was not on CCNA exam. Okay. And by going through this book, I have prepared a few notes which is stored on my smartphone, which is just here. So what I'm going to do in this video, SSH into my smartphone, get that note, and recite some of few points that I think that it is worth noting or sharing. And I have been through the book, and it also permits me to share the knowledgeable insight. I can cite the book, I can share the source. I know it's a copyrighted material, but I'm very sure that I'm not infringing any of that. So without any further ado, let's start. So the book name is Network Warrior, and the basic or the most good definition that I ever found about network is when two or more computers connected by some means through which they are capable of sharing information. So mark my words. The keyword is network. When two or more computers connected by some means, it may be data cable, an Ethernet cable, a serial cable. For example, the connectivity between this monitor and my laptop is also a network because they are actually sharing information. But I am again asking, mark my word, the term connection, when this term connection hits, it involves some sort of addressing or identification of the nodes on the network. Now, when we are connecting the devices using Wi Fi, we know that even this device or my phone or any the Wi-Fi router or AP gets an addressing scheme, which we commonly refer as MAC address or IP address. So these are addressing scheme, and these used to identify the nodes on network. It may be in master slave relationship, primary or secondary relationship. It is just a keyword from the book itself. But trying to understand that when addressing is involved, then that network will become a connection. The next thing that I learned that LAN is confined to a limited space. We use LAN as a very throwaway term for everything. For example, Wi-Fi is known as wireless LAN. The RJ45 connection is known as Ethernet LAN. Even the fiber connections is also sometimes referred to as LAN. So if a connectivity is confined to that limited space, then it will be much safer or better to say that it's a LAN. Now, when we talk about WAN, WAN stands for Wide Area Network, and it is a network that involves connection to a third party provider, a provider that we don't have any control to. We can, for sure, we can dial their support number and ask for help, but we don't own or control their equipment. Uh, the example for a third party provider may include the mobile network provider. For example, mine is Geo. Some guys use Airtel, some use AT&T, etc. The next thing that I noted in the book that is worth sharing here is hub is a repeater, but all repeaters are not hub. And this statement actually signifies the objective of device. A hub is a device in which the primary objective is to connect multiple devices together in order to uh, maintain or establish a connectivity between them. But repeater is a device which is particularly used to amplify the signal to make it to a larger distance. We know that the limitation of a Ethernet cable is around 100 meter. And if we are surpassing that distance, we may face signal dropping, etc. So these can be fixed by a repeater. The same thing for the Wi-Fi signals. We also use the Wi-Fi repeater in order to extend the Wi-Fi signal range. And yes, we are going to discuss how it will deteriorate the further signaling, how it impact our actually bandwidth speed. We will discuss that. These are also things in the same book, and I will discuss that in future. And the next statement says that propagation delay. A propagation delay skew shall not exceed 45 ns. Ns stands for nanoseconds per 100 meter. This talks about the 100-meter limitation of an Ethernet cable. And if we maintain a cable length of more than 100 meter, what will happen that we started facing some packet distance delays in between, which may mark our connection unstable. And finally, for the first chapter that I point noted, if two switches are connected using crossover cable and one of them is configured with VLAN 10 while other is with VLAN 20, intercommunication is possible between the same subnet. So actually, this point signifies the importance of VLAN tagging. If all the ports of the switch are tagged with the same VLAN, then no VLAN tagging is going to be happen on that switch. Hence, the inter VLAN or inter subnet communication will be possible despite having the different VLANs. And actually, I feel like I missed the point of uh, telling you what repeaters are made for and hub are made for. So hub usually contains of multiple ports in order to establish connection between multiple devices, but a repeater may or may not contain more than two ports, one for ingress and second for egress traffic. So that's it for this video. This was a kind of short test video, and if you like this video, I will try to make it as long as possible because I have got a lot of content to cover. And these things, which sometimes may or may not be addressed in the CCN exam, as the book mentions. So the book was Everything You Need to Know That Was Not on CCNA, The Network Warrior. It's a second edition for this. Thank you for the time and patience.